raised garden bed. Right now, where I'm at, it's December and we just happen to have a really warm day. In this particular raised bed, I have some collard plants which actually do really well in cold and frosty climates. So they're looking a little peaked right now because we already picked a whole and ate a whole bunch of them for Thanksgiving. There's a couple of ways you can go about building your own raised garden bed. You can do it with wood, and I have some laid out here because I'm like really messy. Or you could use one of these plastic kiddie pools. Hopefully when I pull this up, nothing will jump out at us. And this is one of my plastic kiddie pools from last gardening season. So this or wood, either way, it'll work for you. It just depends on how much effort you want to put into it. Now, some people don't really like the idea of plastics and chemicals at all. So I use untreated wood. Now with untreated wood, obviously, from what they tell me at the hardware store, at Lowe's or Home Depot, whichever place I happen to go to get my wood, and they'll cut it for you for free, by the way. Untreated wood is better for your plants if you're really trying to go organic. The only problem with untreated wood, it's going to start to decay or rot after a few years. Now these beds I've had in place for a couple of seasons now, for a couple of winters, and they've done really well. So let me get started and show you what tools you'll need so you can build your own raised bed and do your own gardening. First and foremost, I want to stress to you some issues about safety when you're using tools, manual tools and power tools. You should wear safety goggles, you should wear gloves, because you don't want anything flying up, hitting you in the face. Now, I do not, by any stretch of the imagination, claim to be an expert on any of this. So when you go to your local hardware store, you can check with the people there because they're actually pretty good and pretty knowledgeable. I find that my best friends in doing all these projects are the salespeople because they really tend to know their stuff. There are a lot of books on how to build your own little raised garden bed. There's excellent books on square foot gardening. Look those up on the internet or Amazon, and you'll find some wonderful things that will help you be a little more specific if you're that type. Me, I tend to just kind of do it as I go along. But I've done a lot of these before, and I'll try to do my best to show you how to make things easy for yourself. I don't typically do a lot of measuring, and as you can see, I'm pretty spread out all over the place. But with these type of nails, these ones that they suggested at Home Depot, they're exterior screws, and they're pretty good. They last really well. They don't rust, at least as far as I know. Since they're going to be outside, you do need the ones that aren't going to rust. Now, typically what I do is I'll put 2, sometimes maybe 3 nails in each section of the wood. Oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to talk about the wood. You can get untreated wood from Home Depot, and I usually have them cut a 16-foot length of wood into 4-foot lengths. Oh, and by the way, ladies, I never knew this, but a 16-foot piece of lumber is not actually 16 feet. There can be some variation. So if you talk really nicely to the guys at Lowe's or Home Depot, wherever you go to get your wood, I'm sure, they'll have patience with you and, just line up each of your pieces of wood that are cut and make sure that they are equal size. If they're not perfectly 4x4, it's not a big deal because sometimes I've gotten ones that are a little bit longer or shorter than the other, and you can manage to make do. So with that in mind, I like to tap start my nail. That way it doesn't fly off. Okay, as I was saying, I like to tap my nail in a little bit so it doesn't fly off. And once again, make sure you're using all the safety precautions that you possibly can because you don't want to get hurt when you're actually out here having fun. Best thing in the world are these cordless tools with these rechargeable batteries. I love these. Makes your work so much easier. Now I'm just going to take my foot and brace this, hold on to it. I know you can use a workmate or a workbench or have somebody help you, but just for purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to show you how easy it is. Especially ladies who are maybe not necessarily comfortable with using power tools. I love them. So anyway, you want to line up your bit. Oh, make sure it's in there really tight or it'll fly out. And take your time. Okay, and sometimes you've got to put a little pressure to get it to go all the way down into the wood. But you want to keep it straight. Okay, once you've got it fairly halfway down in there, turn it over and now you see the nail. Now keep doing this for all 4 sides of your pieces of wood until you have your little garden box built and ready to go. Now I'm going to set one up together, set one up for you, show it what it looks like, and then you can take it from there. Okay, and this is what your final raised bed will look like. This is one of my beds from last planting season, and it has a lot of leaves over it because this is December now, and I'm just going to plant some stuff in there later on.